record this to the cloud. So I apologize, but let's go with this way. That way I can see who's jumping on. All right, so this is part 2 of the formula. For those of you that don't know me, just met me, I was a Mike Ferry coach, coaching, former MAPS coach, founder of the Path to Pro Coaching, which is my company, sales coaching for 20 years, licensed for real estate for 39, been in sales for 40, specializing in 3 things. Because I know everybody wants to be good at a lot of things, but I'm going to specialize in lead generation, lead conversion, and presentation skills. I've done this with different businesses, financial planners, financial advisors, real estate agents, because that was my background. And I really want to give you specifics on this. So today, take good notes, ask good questions, stay on mute. If you have a question, unmute yourself. Let's just kind of keep it casual here. And then we want you to get out of your comfort zone. Let's make some changes. Things are happening, but I can tell you right now that not a lot of people are doing what I'm going to tell you today and make this happen. Hey, Marcos. We want you to do effective follow-up. So I'm going to talk to you today about effective follow-up, how to stop selling and avoid the commission breath syndrome. You know, like as soon as you see blood, you want to attack it. I just, in my background, studied sales outside of the real estate training, and I hired many years ago one of the top tech salespeople to train me on being able to sell differently, to sound more like a consultant and not like a pushy, sleazy, obnoxious salesperson that people reject you and get repelled about. We're going to talk about the 4-step handling of any objections, how to do that. We're going to talk about the expired script and use you the preview form, the thing that Marcos, you were asking for last time. All right. So the goal is to get you guys into 1 and 2, or to list 1 and 2 in 30 days. FSBOs or expires. Some of you may be doing better. Let's add 1 or 2 more. Overcome your fears. If you have fears in it, build more confidence, create more momentum today, and use what I call, Marcos, you'll like this, conversational sales intelligence. How to sound more like a consultant, how to be more of an advisor, how to create influence and authority instantly. Get away from these hard closing scripts. I never liked them. I just felt uncomfortable. And, you know, chime in if you felt the same way. I just didn't want to get repelled instantly. And so when I started studying personality styles, when I started really getting into the psychology of the sales process, that's when things started to move in the right direction for me, and I felt more comfortable. Okay, so the strategy that I want to give you is more of a chess game than playing checkers. Okay, there's more strategy in chess, right? Checkers, you're jumping around, and I think because there hasn't been any real formal sales training, people outside of the real estate industry that are teaching real good sales techniques, okay, and stop selling and start listening and asking more specific questions, because that's really how you develop influence and authority with people, is by just listening better. Let's talk about a little bit about the follow-up. Have you ever lost a listing? Anybody ever lost a listing for lack of follow-up? Just put down in the chat, please. Let's be honest with each other. I have, for not following up. Have you ever lost a deal for not following up? Okay, let's look at this. Marcos, yeah, okay, yeah, Mike Ferry, okay, Mike Ferry, Soul Train, yes, okay, yes, okay, we're all here. Lucy's here. So this is like a therapy little session here. Yes, I have lost a listing sometimes for the lack of follow-up. And how'd you feel? It's like a punch in the nose when you actually lose a listing, when you know that, gosh, if my system was better, if I would have called that person up. So it's just frustrating, okay? So when you follow up with someone, and one of the key elements here is that you want to make sure they have a life-changing event. That's who you want to stick with on a regular basis. If they have a life-changing event, you want to be able to stay with it, okay? What's a life-changing changing event, right? Pregnancy, divorce, financial problems, financial gains, things of those nature that you know that even if you don't apply pressure, that there's a internal pressure going on that causes them to probably want to make a decision on wanting to list much sooner. when they sound frustrated and anxious. They said they will interview in a specific time frame. You want to follow up weekly. I know that, and again, Marcos, you know this. We were taught years ago to follow up every day. How would you like it if that same person was calling you up every day? Honestly, please tell me, because I just want, if someone was calling you every day, how would you feel as a consumer? Be honest. Would you like it? Would you think it's a little bit pushy? Just give me someone. Yeah, thank you. Not listening. Marco says that he says they probably think there was not listening. Anybody else that kind of new to the group, how would you feel if a person called you up every day and bugged the living crap out of you about listing your home? How would you feel? Someone. Oh, okay. That was good, Janine. He said, I'm going to block that person. Okay. Yeah. So we don't want that to happen. So when you're following up with a person, you're always leaving something of value. Annoyed. Thanks, Lucy. When you see them face to face or on the phone, we're leaving some nugget of information of value to them. And we got to get in the habit of doing that. If we're face to face, we're leaving something behind. We're leaving stats. Now, do not give them, please, do not give them a CMA on their home. That is the biggest mistake that agents do, is provide a CMA. That's what they pay us for. You know, and it's interesting when the FSBO expireds, ask you a question about the value of their home. You know, what do you think my house is worth? Please be careful. That's a trap. That's a trap. If you were on last week, we talked about the preview flow chart that actually gives you a step-by-step process in that. And if you want that, you can go ahead and I'll give you my email. You can get that from me. That really gives you what to do at a preview when you preview something. Because I really believe that the way to get into an expired, a way to get into a FSBO is to preview the home. Never say that you have a buyer if you don't have a buyer. If you do have a buyer, great, go to. Always leave something of value. Focus on the right lead. Stop wasting time and energy on jerks. That's interesting. Anybody have a jerk client? A jerk listing? They're not fun. In the way the market is right now today, we need to be working with the right type of people so that we have the energy to find more business. But if someone is a jerk in the initial call that you have made with someone, do you think they're going to be a jerk later on? Yeah.
So Bill, how would you handle it if they say, well, Bill, so I mean, now that you saw the home, what do you think it would sell for?
You know, that's a great question, Marcos. I'm glad you asked me that question. You know, right now, as you know, this market is changing very quickly. So let me ask you this, Marcos. When exactly do you want to have the house sold by? Go ahead, play with me.
You know, like within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
So that means you want a 2 or 3 week price, not a, you know, a 30, 60, or 90-day price. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because it's changing so rapidly, I would have to go back to my office and do a deep dive. So when's a good day for me to come back to tell you exactly what I found through all my research that I've done to give you that right price? Because, you know, you've got to move and I don't want to make a mistake. When can I come back?
You know, can you come back tomorrow?
Yeah, I can go. What's a good time?
Like around this time, you know,
whatever.
Or
right.
whatever.
Okay. So what I now, hey, listen, he's saying, I want your information. I have now a formal appointment to do a CMA because I'm going to close that person to list with me. Okay. Does that make sense? Did I answer your, Marcos, a little bit of your question?
Yeah, no, and it makes a lot of sense because that happened to me. Remember that when I talked to you last week about going to a FSBO and I didn't want to go?
Right.
So I followed up with him yesterday and he wants me to meet with him today to go over listing the property. So so I took notes when I was there and like you know, I did leave a CMA with him. But you know, he wanted to go over pricing you know, when I meet with him. So, and then commissions. So it's interesting though that I didn't want to go and then you made me go. And then he wants to talk about listing the home
I'm a
today.
coach. So yeah, so I'm glad you went. What's the price on that?
It was 690.
And what could be the commission range?
I don't know, somewhere between 13, 20 grand, somewhere in there.
Would you be happy with 13 to 20 grand?
Of course.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we think way too much, and this is what I tell Marcos a lot, and I'm going to mention this at the last slide, but our ego gets in the way of our transactions sometimes, right? EGO, eliminating growth opportunities. Interesting. So let's get back. I want you to understand that listening is a key, and just like someone said, could we get part one? Yeah. Just at the end, just email me and I'll get that to you. And actually, but we'll talk in just a little bit. So I want everybody right now to see how well you listen. And I want you to take out a piece of paper, okay? And we're going to take a listening test so that you know what to work on listening better. Now, okay, has nothing to do with personal stuff at home. Okay, this is just business, because people go, will this work for my wife? That's a separate thing, because I know I would fail this test if I took it regarding my wife and me, because we've been married, 25 years, and I'm just getting better at this whole marriage thing after all this time. So let's take a test. Question number one, I just want you to answer yes or no for you. This is not about what is the right answer. You need to answer this personally, okay? Perfect. Irene, perfect. Irene just got on to take the listening test. Irene, take the listening test with us. Answer yes or no to this question for you personally in business, not home with special people, significant other, husband, wife, whatever. Just answer it truthfully. Number one question. Here we go, guys. I give conscious, specific thought to my listening strategy each time I engage in dialogue. Yes or no? I give conscious, specific thought to my listening strategy each time I engage in dialogue. Yes or no? Number two, people often tell me I'm daydreaming and not listening to them. People often tell me I'm daydreaming and not listening to them. Okay. Number three, I get impatient and jump ahead, finishing other people's sentences. That's a big one. Yes or no? My kids do that. It drives me nuts. My son actually does that. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this recording. Number four, I make clear eye contact when I'm listening. I make clear eye contact when I'm listening. Yes or no? Number five, I'm an expert at creating the illusion of listening when I'm not. I used to do that really good at elementary school. Okay, not really good when you're an adult. Remember, be honest, don't cheat. Number six, people often compliment me on being a concerned, empathetic listener. That's good. Yes or no, for you personally. Number seven, when I'm unable to give my full attention, I let the other person know. Interesting. Number eight, I often hear people say, "You're not listening to me." That's the one I always get in trouble with at home. You're not listening to me. Yes or no? Number nine, I listen better one-on-one than when I'm part of a group. I listen better one-on-one than when I'm part of a group. Number 10, at appropriate times in a conversation, I ask for clarification. At an appropriate time in conversation, I ask for clarification. Number 11, I generally make a concentrated effort to pay attention when someone is speaking to me. Yes or no? If you want me to go back to anything, we'll go back in just a second. 12, I'm a master at tuning in and out of conversation and never missing a thing. Right. Okay. Number 13, when I first meet people, I always remember their names. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Number 14, I tend to listen harder when I know I'll be tested on the material. It's probably me. 15, through my body language. Hey, Rebecca. Welcome, Rebecca. We're taking a test. We'll come back to you in just a second. Just number 1 through 20, and we're taking a listening test. Okay, I did 14. I tend to listen harder when I will be tested on the material. Number 15, answer yes or no. Through my body language, I make a concerted effort to demonstrate my interest. Through my body language, I make a concerted effort to demonstrate my interest. Yes or no? 16, when someone says something I disagree with or want to add on to, I get hung up on that point and stop paying attention. That's a good question there, or a statement. When someone says something I disagree with or want to add on to, I get hung up on that point and stop paying attention. 17, I'm one of those people who does not take notes because I believe I'll remember what was said. If you're ever in one of my workshops, please just at least fake it. I hate it when people don't do that, or any type of training. Man, I'm always taking notes. If you're in front of me and you can teach me something, I am going to take notes. 18, I have made some major mistakes and caused misunderstandings by not listening. 18, okay. 19, I'm willing to change my opinions and strategies after hearing someone else's thoughts. Yes or no? And the last one, number 20, my listening skills have not improved in the past 5 years. Okay. So I know some of you that came in late, just you'll get this a little bit more as we get into it. Okay. Anybody want me to repeat any question? Just put in the chat if you like. I'll repeat it. And then we're going to tally up what the listening test will tell you about your listening skills. Okay. So you're going to check the ones that are correct. And I'm going to give you the answers on this based on the research that was done. And I'll give you the book also where you can find this. It's a great book. All right. So let's take it. Number 1. I give conscious, specific thought to my listening strategy each time I engage in dialogue. That should be a yes. Check the ones you've got right. Mark the ones you got wrong, because we're going to tally up what you got right. Number 2, people often tell me I'm daydreaming and not listening to them. Obviously, that's a no. Number 3, I get impatient and jump ahead of finishing other people's sentences. That should be a no. A lot of people do that. Don't feel bad. Just be honest here, because I'm going to give you the totals. Number 4, I make clear eye contact when I'm listening. That should be a yes. Number 5, I'm an expert at creating the illusion of listening when I'm not. That should be a no. Number 6, people often compliment me on being a concerned, empathetic listener. That should be a yes. And on a side note, Harvard did a study on salespeople internationally, all over the world. And one of the biggest issues was the lack of empathy that people show in sales. Interesting. Number 7, when I'm unable to give my full attention, I'll let the other person know. That should be a yes. Number 8, I often hear people say, "You're not listening to me." That should be a no. Number 9, I listen better one-on-one. Now watch this. This is the one everybody gets messed up on. I listen better one-on-one than when I'm part of a group. That should be a no. It says here, when you are part of a group, you should still be listening as if you were going to need to use that information at a later time. It's a bad habit to tune out if you think other people in the group will listen for you. Okay, that always gets people messed up. Number 10, at appropriate times in a conversation, I ask for clarification. That should be a yes. Number 11, I generally make a concentrated effort to pay attention when someone is speaking to me. That should be a yes. Number 12, I'm a master at tuning in and out of conversation and never missing a thing. That should be a no. 13, when I first meet people, I always remember their names. Obviously, that should be a yes, but I'm sure a majority of us are saying, yeah, get that wrong. We should be really good. I mean, that's such an easy thing. And I'm for all my years of being in sales, I'm always trying to work on that. 14, I tend to listen harder when I know I will be tested on the material. That should be a no. It is a facet of human nature to pay more attention when we know we will be tested. This is because we passed the test. If we pass the test, we are rewarded. It helps to remember that listening always pays rewards. Number 15, through my body language, I make a concerted effort to demonstrate my interest. That should be a yes. When someone says something I disagree with or want to add on to, I get hung up on that point and stop paying attention. That should be a no. Let me read you what it says. It is easy to do this. Everyone does this occasionally, some people more than others. If we get stuck on one point, we miss the other, possibly more important points. If you do hear something you want to comment on, make a mental note of it and continue to listen, then come back. My attorney did this so well. And what I would suggest when you're with people doing a presentation, talking to FSBO expireds, whoever, you want to just write down the notes and go back to it. You don't have to stop them and interrupt them. Just go back. My attorney used to go do this to me. Bill, let's go back to what you said about this. I just want to get clarification. I go, oh my gosh, what a great listener. 17, I'm one of those people who does not take notes because I believe I will remember what was said. That should be a no. 18, I have made major mistakes and caused misunderstandings by not listening. That should be a no. I'm willing to change my opinions and strategies after hearing someone else's thoughts. That should be a yes. And at home, got to get better at that. My listening skills, number 20, have not improved in the last 5 years. That should be a no. Okay, now here's the fun part. Total up your number and post it. Okay, just bear with me. Everything that all the numbers you got right, total them up and give me the number and put in the chat. Okay, let's just do it. Come on. And I'll give you what this means. Okay, so Marcos got a 6. Okay, you're in trouble. No. All right, anybody else? Keep going. Just put your numbers in. Don't worry about it. This is the fun part about what we do here. This is to get us better at what we do. Oh, Janine moved. That was good, Janine. 14, right? Lucy got 16, right? Okay. Miguel, 11. Good. No problem. Just keep putting them in there. Carlos, 11. Okay. 13, Irene. Great. What else we got here? Anybody else? Okay. Yes, 17. Okay. I got 18 light. 2 wrong intentionally. Okay. That was good, Lisa. All right. As people are coming on. Now watch this. Here we go. Ready? If you answered 18 to 20 statements correctly, you have excellent listening skills, Lisa. Okay. You have excellent. Good job on that. If you answered 14 to 17 statements correctly, you have good listening habits. Okay. If you answered 11 to 13 statements correctly, you have fair listening habits. Okay. Let's bring it on in here. Now, Marcos is on the. If you answered 10 or fewer statements correctly, you have poor listening habits. It says no matter what your score is, everyone has the ability to listen well. Here's one final secret to determine whether or not you're a good listener. During every conversation, ask yourself these questions. Am I learning anything? If not, you're talking too much and listening too little. So they were wrong, but was honest. Okay, good. That was good, Lisa. I like that. All right. So I guess what we're saying here is some of you are really good. Congratulations. Except for Marcos, he's going to have to go to his room. Or his wife's going to kick his butt. So anyway, we could all improve. Even, Lisa did a great job. So I guarantee you're a good presenter. So let's talk about the skills here that we need to improve on. So now that you know where you are in listening, now the point is, I got to do this better, okay? That's all. When I teach this in a class and we have 30, 40, 50, 60 people in the classroom, I'll be amazed people in sales that are poor listeners that are actually doing well, okay? So improve. So let's go to the next thing. Today, we're going to also talk about objections. Objections, okay? As you're listening for the type of objection you're getting from someone. And there's really, in my opinion, 3 types of objections you're going to get in any situation in real estate or in sales. You have a true objection, which is the real one, a condition objection, which is, and then I'll explain what that is, or smokescreen. Okay, so a true objection, you've determined this is the real thing. And so you always address the true objection. Do not, you can't overcome a condition. What's a condition? A condition is something that cannot be changed. I have no money is a condition. the wife goes, I'm pregnant and we can't do anything until the baby comes. That's a condition. It can't be changed, right? She's pregnant. I want to buy a house, but can you help me find a house? And you have a credit score of 480. That's a condition. Why are we messing around with this situation? You guys, we have to find that right client. We got to work with the right person today. And if it's a smokescreen, and I believe FSBOs and expires, unfortunately, forgive me, they lie. And they lie because that's their technique to put you off. So please, we need to, whatever they give you, we need to determine, is this smoke? Is this a condition? Or is this the true objection? And we only address the true objection. If we start going down and they try to out technique us like, I'll never list with a real estate agent. 30 days later, they listed with someone. That was a smokescreen. You still did not go through a process to find out if this is real or not. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a little bit. I mean, how many times have you heard this and they did something with, I'll never, or how about this one? I have a friend in the business. I have a friend and she's my good friend and I have to list with her. Should you go to that house still? And I'm going to show you what to do on the preview. We did that last week. Go. Because you are better than the friend. You're more professional than the friend. You have better techniques than the friend. You can do your job. Listen, I have a friend that's a doctor. I'm going to go to him. No, if I have a heart problem, I'm going to the specialist. You're the specialist. So be careful with the client, the suspects or the prospects out techniquing you and you're believing them because you have no technique to try to decipher whether or not this is a true one, a condition, or a smokescreen. We're going to talk about that. Stop me if you have any questions. Okay, next. So let's go over this 4-step objection formula. And this is a recording that I'm going to be posting in the Lead Gen Academy. I'm going to kind of break it down to you, and I'll send it to you, those of you that have joined the Lead Gen Academy. But anyway, 4, agree massively. Number 2, ask a question that creates doubt or curiosity. Number 4, make a statement. Number 3, make a statement. Number 4, close. That's it. Now, could you have variations of this? Yes. But I'm going to give you a formula that is simple to use in any situation. So you have a structure. And what frustrated me with real estate is I couldn't understand what's the structure when this happens. Do you just say this obnoxious thing? Are you familiar with the techniques I use in selling homes? Like, no, I don't have no idea who you are and I don't care. Click. Okay. So what I want to do is give you some ammunition and you put your little spin on it, but there are some psychological processes when you speak to someone that really penetrates the skull, that separates you from the competition, that makes you look like a blue ocean rather than a red ocean. If you read that book, Blue Ocean Strategy. Also, before I forget, The 7 Powers of Questions is the book that I have this test out of. The 7 Powers of Questions. Find that book, read it. It's written by Dorothy Leeds, L-E-E-D-S. I interviewed her probably about 8 or 9 years ago. So funny. So I just want to remind you guys, great book. We need to elevate our skill in asking questions, elevate our skill in listening. Okay. If you need any more about that, just email me. Okay. So let's break down the objection formula. Okay. So first of all, number 1, agree massively. Now, this doesn't mean doing something like, hey, I understand that, and then going to telling them why they're stupid. Or, I don't want you to, we hate real estate agents. Okay. Yeah. But, let me tell you, because the market is, so all you're really saying when you don't agree with them massively, and I don't mean that you agree with them, that you understand their position, but I'm saying agree with them so that you understand you gotta be nice to people. You can't just go, no, that's wrong, Marcos. We talk about this a lot. Okay. So by expressing a massive agreement with them, you're using certain words. I completely understand your concern. I see your point. That makes sense. Okay. I mean, they may say, hey, real estate agents are making way too much money. I can understand your concern there. I see your point. Okay, now, you see with those red where it says bridge? I learned this a long time ago. There's a bridge between the first part of this to the second part. And we typically forget the second part of agreeing massively. Okay? The second part is so important because if you do just the first part and then you tell them why they're wrong, you're just like everybody else. So let me give you what the bridge is. The dots in a script, if you work with me, all my scripts, most of them have dots, breaking up the words so that you don't run the sentence, so that you have these little pregnant pauses when you're talking to someone so they can hear you better and that what you're saying really penetrates. Okay? So let's look at what the bridge is. I completely understand your concern because, so the bridge word is because. Because bridges the next phase or the second section of agreeing massively. So you typically are going to address the objection that they gave you. Okay, and I gave you some examples, and this could be for any business, but in real estate, it's like this. You want to save as much money as possible so that you can buy your dream home. I completely understand your concern because you want to save as much money as you possibly can so that you move into your dream home. Now watch, I added things that I'd learned in the previous conversation, but it makes me look like I've really listened to them, and it elevates my position compared to these other agents that are out there just having commission breath. You guys with me on that? Watch this. I see your point because you need to save as much money for retirement in order to live comfortably, right? I get that. That makes sense because you need as much money as you can for the down payment on your new home in Florida to make the last move you make for your family. This is actually an objection I used just recently because I'm out there listing FSBOs, and it worked. What do you guys think about that? Give me does this way of speaking to someone, if you were the FSBO, what would you think about the agent? What would be your impression of the agent?
Well, Bill, I think they appreciate it because before I got on the call, I was talking to a FSBO, and because I've been using a lot of your scripts and dialogues, and he told me, he says, you're like the only realtor I've talked to because the conversation is not rude.
Yeah.
He says everyone's telling me how stupid I am because I'm selling by owner, or that no one's going to take me a buyer unless I offer a commission. He says, you didn't come at me that way, and that's why we're talking.
Yeah.
So I think as a for sale by owner, I would feel like you're listening. I would feel like, hey, this guy is not salesy. He's not trying to make money off me. He's really listening. And that's why I think going after for sale by owners is working for me as well.
Yeah. And Carlos and Irene and Lisa, I mean, they're going to probably think I'm paying you to say this, but he also struggles with, tell them what you struggle with so they know that you're just not, you're not using everything I have and everything's not perfect.
Obviously listening after I mean, I struggle with my ego, and always like with the pre-qualifying too much. Instead of pre-qualifying them, I'm trying to eliminate them because I'm too smart, right? I'm like, oh, this guy's not gonna list.
Yeah.
And not being versatile at times, that I struggle with. I've gotten a lot better with it.
Right.
But it's a work in progress, and that's why I like coming on your calls, because I think now that you're doing the business again, it's like your scripts are getting better.
Yeah, I'm in the trenches, guys, because I wanted to be the coach that actually is using the stuff in the real sense of the word and the world, because the market's changing. So I said, I'm out there. I'm going to list. So just so you'll know, I'm not perfect, guys. I lose them. I'll say stupid stuff just like anybody else. But in the last 30 days, I've listed 3 FSBOs, all on the contract. These are people that said they're not going to list with an agent. So I am so confident that when you start to improve your dialogue, they see you, as Marco said, as someone different. And Lisa, because you're a great listener, any thoughts on this? Because I would love to get your comments on this approach, and just as we go on, because we need to sound different. The scripts do not work for this marketplace. The consumer is much more intelligent. They have access to a lot of data. We have to elevate our articulation of our services and our value proposition, because that's what they want. They want you to be the doctor and they will be the patient. As soon as you relinquish that position and they become the doctor and you're the patient, we're in big trouble. Lisa says, I can completely agree and follow the same principle, because sincerely, yeah, great, good, thank you for that. Yeah, it goes a long way. So let's keep it down. Now that's step one. So once you've agreed massively, they go, wow, and subconsciously they go, yeah, they understand me. So now let's do step two. Step two is ask a question that creates doubt and curiosity. Okay, so how do we do that? So let's look at what this looks like. That's step two. So now we're talking different, and we go with ask a question that creates doubt or curiosity. Hey, if it made financial sense to look at other options, would you be open-minded to that? Okay, there's some key words there. And this one, if I have a misspelled word, I'm sorry, sometimes I get all excited. So if it made financial sense, right? Who wants to not make financial sense? To look at other options, ... that's a pregnant pause. Would you be open-minded to that? No one wants to be closed-minded. So the words are selected so that we make it easy for them to say yes. Number two there, if it did not cost you anything, would you be open-minded to look at other options? It's another way. And you guys, you can create your own script. And what I like to coach and train on is to give you the formula. You can change the words. I mean, this could work with any industry, but look at the pattern, the type of words, open-minded. If the home does not sell in your time frame, would you be open-minded to look at other options? Okay. ... is the pause. Okay. So we make it easy for them because, first of all, we're developing curiosity. What do you mean it doesn't cost me anything? What do you mean financial sense? What do you mean if it doesn't sell in the time frame? So we're adding some curiosity. The brain automatically goes, all right, I got to learn a little bit more what this guy's saying. Now, this doesn't mean they're sold on us yet, but how we are speaking to them is a presentation in itself. When we are in the house or on the phone, our presentation starts as soon as we make that dial, as soon as we walk in that house. That's showtime, right? How we speak, which means it may not be our normal personality. That's why we talk about being versatile. Okay. Okay. Good. Let's go next one. So step one, right? Agree massively so they feel that you understand them. Number two, ask a question that creates doubt or curiosity. And now we're going to go to step three. Make a powerful statement. Hey, the reason why I'm asking is because now in a statement, the loss of money and time is critical to real estate, right? So what we're going to bring a statement in that actually shows or makes a statement regarding money and time. The average days on market has increased by blank days. The reason why I'm asking is because several homes have dropped in price by blank, which is bringing the average cost per square foot in your neighborhood to whatever. Okay. The other thing too that's really important, that the cost per square foot analysis, I hope that you all are doing that with your CMAs, like an appraiser would do. And I'm sure a lot of, no one used to do it, believe it or not. I'm sure more people are doing it now. But when you start to show that a neighborhood started out last 3 months ago at $299 a square foot, now is at $250, or someone's dropping their price, or a builder's starting to drop their price, and he's making that cost per square foot go down in the neighborhood, or maybe it's gone up. But when you start to talk like a specialist, they go, man, yeah, I like my friend, but Lisa is like, she a whole lot different than my friend. The reason why I'm asking is because it appears the listed properties in your neighborhood are using your home to sell theirs much faster. That's like a kick in the you know what for the FSBOs, which happens a lot. Okay. The last one I just listed, believe it or not, had a couple showings and whatever. It wasn't on the scale of 1 to 10 as far as showing. They had 4 or 5 kids, was probably a 6.5 or 7. I would like for it to be an 8 or 9, but it wasn't. We had 11 showings and no offers. Finally, over the weekend, we got an offer. This is a FSBO that I did a preview on of everything I've been teaching you guys. It works. But if you're a driver, you don't have the patience for this. I'm going to close them right now. Are you familiar with the techniques I use right now? If I can show you how I could net you the same amount of money, it's a friggin' lie. You know, if I can operate on you right now and save your heart and you feel no pain, would you let me be your doctor? That's basically what we're saying. It doesn't make sense. Most of you that don't know me, I'm pretty much a straight shooter coach type of person. I don't like to waste a lot of time. We need to make money now, not later. And with this market changing, we got to get our skills up. Number 4, we close. Okay. We close. Agree massively. Ask a question that creates doubt and curiosity. Make a powerful statement. You create the statement. There may be other statements you got. Let's make a powerful statement. And number 4, we close. This is why I would like to share with you this is very important. If you have a listing presentation, a buyer presentation, you have to call it something. And all the research that has been done, when you name your thing, your presentation, something, it adds more value. I learned this by one of my coaches that coached me from Australia, because I hired coaches to coach me to be better at what I do in my training. And what they said was, call it something. Seller advantage. It doesn't have to be seller advantage program. It doesn't have to be the buyer advantage program. It doesn't have to be investor advantage. You just name it something that has a title, and people perceive that as being high value to them. Well, it's the program. Instead of going, I'd like to come over and talk to you about my listing presentation or how we list houses here at whatever company. Our seller advantage program, buyer advantage program, investor advantage program, probate advantage program, first time buyer advantage program, whatever you want to call it. But if you coin it a thing, it seems to be more valuable. Guys, are you with me on that one? Does that make sense? We don't do that now. Some companies have their thing called something, which is great. If you watch television and you look at commercials, start to study the commercials. They do that to us all day long. Okay? When would be a good time for us to discuss this in more detail? Okay, I want to make the prospect, the FSBO, the expired feel that they're in control. Is this week or next week better for you? Always give an alternate choice. Never just say, hey, is Friday this week good for you? Always give them 2 choices why we want to make them feel that they're in control of the process. Okay, I got about 10 minutes, so I got some really good stuff to give you. The strategy. First of all, any questions, unmute yourself before we go into, I'm going to give you a script and I'm going to give you another form. But questions before we do that. Anybody have any questions besides Marcos? Because he knows me. We've been coaching, we know each other for years. Anybody have any questions? You guys got this down pat. Okay, so maybe I'll ask you a question. Is this making sense and is this helpful for your business? Yes or no? Just type it in quick. So I can see some people that I know that okay, Lucy says yes. Okay, Lisa, thank you. Yes, 100% good. Janine, thank you. Okay, good. I just want to make sure that I'm on something here. I don't want to just give you crap that doesn't make sense, it doesn't work. We need to now start acting like high-level skilled salespeople so that we can dominate the market as it changes, okay? So the strategy, go to at least 1 preview a day. I would prefer you do 2 previews a day. That's what we talked about last week. Use the 4-step objection formula and be the doctor, not the patient. Don't let them control it. A driver on the other end always wants to be in control. But you know what's good about a driver? They're fast to make decisions. Okay? Compliment them. You're the doctor. You're the specialist. They're always the patient. As soon as that changes, it is a tough day in real estate. So let's look at the script that I have. Now, it's a formula type of script. I'm just saying, I don't like being pushy. I like to be strategic in my conversations. So, hi, I'm not sure if you can help me. That's what we call the RFO, rejection free opener, not good morning. I'm William Crespo. Because if you call me William Crespo and my name is really Bill, you're the FBI, the CIA. I hit some car, someone's after me. If you're how can we access past week? Oh, we'll get that. Just email me. Let me give him my email, guys. And anything that you need, let's go to info@path2pro.net. Anything you need on what we did last week, I'll send it to you. Okay. Okay. So the script. Hey, I'm calling about 123 Main Street. I'm an agent. I want to know if it's still listed with Marcos. Simple. We don't need to do research. If you're using Vulcan 7, RedX, whatever it may be, if you guys don't have that service, go to my website and click on it. I think they give you a deal for Vulcan 7. You need a service because it's going to be a pain in the neck to start downloading all the stuff. But I know that it came off the market, but I want to make sure, hey, I'm an agent. I just want to know if it's still listed with Marcos. Yes, it is. I'm going back and conversation's over with. I'm not going to pursue it. I may ask this one question. When is it coming back on the market? So I know that it's for real and he hasn't out-techniqued me. Okay. So let's go with this. Yes, great. Then I will get that information from Marcos in MLS and I hang up and move on. I don't have time. I do not have time to be on a conversation with a no-win situation. I need to go to my next phone call. Do you have a buyer? Now, if they did not relist with Marcos, he may ask me, do you have a buyer? Yeah, I'm not sure. I will get that information from MLS. Thank you. Oh, so this is when, I'm sorry. This is when he's going to stay with Marcos, but he still asks me if I'm a buyer. And I don't want to engage in that conversation because I don't want to go out violate any of the realtor laws. So I say, do I have a buyer? No, I'm not sure right now. Well, I'll get the information from MLS and I'll call Marcos. Thanks. And I want to get off the phone. Okay. Now, if he says no, I would say, no, it's not listed with Marcos. I'm going to go, when will it come back on the market? Very simple question. I'm not trying to be the commission breath kind of guy. And then we're going to go into, well, we're looking at it in a couple months. Or we're not sure what we're going to do. Or we're starting to interview agents. Great. When's there a convenient time for me to see the property? To see the property. I didn't say to interview. I need to get face-to-face with a FSBO or an expert as quickly as possible without doing a heavy close so I can be belly-to-belly, eye-to-eye. Now, if they're saying they're going to interview, and listen, if they say, yeah, we're going to interview next week, if you want to come in, I'll be happy. Just close and do the, they're giving it to you. That's what we call a lay down, go. Okay? If they say, no, we're taking it off the market for a while. And when do you think you'll be putting it back on the market? Okay, now watch. I believe that these people are not telling me the truth and they're trying to out-technique me. So I'm now going to clarify whether or not they're telling me the truth or not. So I'm going to say something like this. Okay, great. No, I understand. So they don't hear me pushy, but this question, guys, is gold. Hey, if I get a phone call for someone interested in your neighborhood, not interested in your home, in your neighborhood, would it be okay to contact you? This is a great question, guys. Use it today. They'll go, well, yeah, call me up. This is the same guy that said, no, we're not going to do anything for a long time. We're taking off the market. But, so were they telling us the truth or not? But this simple question tells me this guy would probably list if he had the right situation. He goes, so if I get a phone call for someone interested in your neighborhood, would it be okay to contact you? The guy goes, yeah, Bill, contact me. Okay, would it be okay to, okay, then he says, yes, okay, great. So that I know more about the features of your home, is today or tomorrow convenient for me to stop by? So we have an affirmative. Yes, call me. They're going to go affirmative. It's more likely that they'll say yes to the second part. Hey, just so I know a little bit more about your property. It looks really nice on MLS. I just want to go ahead and come by and see it. When's a good time? Guys, get in the house. Get in the house. Don't try to close them for the listing. Do that, meet them, let them see you. Once you demonstrate who you are, once you show them that you're professional, that you really are empathetic to their situation, who are they going to pick when they're ready to list? You. We got to get out of the office. We got to meet more people face to face. I've said this till I'm blue in the face. More. Get out, knock on the door, meet them. Your competition is not really out there. There's not that many. You can do this. I hope, if you practice. Okay, watch this. Is this, okay, I don't know if you can do a thumbs up. Is this a good script? Simple, easy to use, right to the point. No, I'm listening with Marcos, move on. Don't do any research. Thank you, Lisa. Lucy, I was supposed to say Lisa. The L's, okay, good. All right, now, when you're at the house, whether it be a FSBO or an expired, this is what I call an expired preview. Yeah, come on over, I'll take a look at it. Now I'm doing what I gave you before last week is a preview flow chart and follow the same procedures that I gave you last week. But when you're at the house, I know Marcos, you asked for this, is this form right here. And this is what I call the expired preview form, okay? Simple stuff. I think I'm gonna have to take some time to explain it, but let me go over it real quick. Like I'm on the phone, I'm going to write down all this information. Great, 3 o'clock on Friday. Great, I'll be there. And this is for me. I'm putting down the sale price. I think that he said I'm going to calculate the cost per square foot that he has on his house based on his cost per square foot. This is for my information. I actually will give this to my assistant, so the assistant will give me a brief CMA before I go there. So she already knows what time the appointment date is. They know what day it is, what subdivision. Now this has nothing to do with, don't worry about yes or no on the location. And then I'm determining what their disc is, and that's part of the coaching and training I do. But anyway, are they a driver, expressive, whatever they are. And then in this little box up here, let me see if I can get it bigger. This little box up here is there motivation? This is for me to remind myself of things. Is the client RDD or HDRDD? Now, you'd have to go to my training on send this. Anybody have kids that have ADD? As soon as I said, you know what, I think some of my clients have this. So I call clients that are going to listen. I call it reality deficit disorder. If they are egomaniacs, jerks, they don't want to listen to a word I say, they're probably highly dysfunctional reality deficit disorder people. That disease cannot be cured. But if they're just RDD, I just got to kind of present myself and give them some good facts. I think they will work. But if this guy's a jerk, or you have a listing right now that you think is going to drop their price and they've been a pain in the neck, they're probably suffering from HDRDD, highly dysfunctional reality deficit disorder. They're never going to change. Yeah, Janine, email me. Thank you. And then last part, rate the property. Price, do you think is a good price? 10. Sucks, 1. Condition, good, 10. Bad, 5. Or whatever number you want. Motivation. So what I did for me as I went to these houses, I estimated an average. I wanted to make sure it was an 8 or above, and I knew I had a possibility of a good listing. Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. So anyway, this form for you guys, if you want it, I have it. But there's questions in here that you could ask while you're at the house. Okay. And so I know we're running short of time. Your homework, go to 5 previews in a week. Set at least 1 per day, be on time, stay on your price range that you want, whatever that average is that you like, go to those type of properties, avoid closing hard, using the techniques that we talked about, and get your ego out of the way. Because as Marco said, it messes you up because you already think, oh, this guy's not a nice guy, or you know, all these people live in this neighborhood are like this, and I'm not going to go there because it's too far away. And he said he'll never list with me. It's your ego in the way. Okay. So if you want to join Lead Gen Academy, just to write this down, go to my pathtopro.net site. If you want to join and get other stuff that I have, just on the top of my website, it has LGA. Just click on that and there's all the details there. I can give you the scripts, flow chart, the appointment form. There's other lessons there too. And there's my email. I hope this was helpful, guys. I love this stuff. I'm passionate about it. If you work with me, you're going to get really good at your sales skills. Next week, what we're going to talk about is the power of questions. And we're going to deep dive into questions for FSBOs and expireds and how to use the right type of questions based on personality style. And we're going to talk about building confidence and reducing the emotional attachment sometimes that we have. Okay. I'll open up for questions. Some of you I know have to go. I wanted to be at the top of the hour with this. I hope this was really helpful. You could always email me and let me know what you thought. That'd be great. And that's that email down there. Any questions from anybody on anything that you got out today that was helpful? You can make a statement or you can ask a question. So I'll open it up to anybody. Everybody that came on, it was great to meet you. If you want the information, let me know and we'll send it out. Thanks for being on. Have a great day.